Dear readers, picture this. Your alarm jolts you awake at 5 a.m. You stretch, dash to the bathroom, manage to get the kids dressed, whip up lunch, and by the time the clock strikes noon, your brain feels like it's operating on a half-dead battery. You glance at the watch, and your energy gauge is still stuck at 0. Everyone tells you that lack of sleep is the chief culprit. But what if I told you that in Japan, there is a single word that captures exactly what you're experiencing? Kizuker, literally hidden fatigue. It isn't just a casual, I'm sleepy. It's a deep, systemic mismatch between body and mind, and the usual band-aid of more coffee or just 5 more minutes of sleep only widens the gap. In the next several minutes, I will unpack why Kizuker shows up, how it ties into the physiology of your everyday life, and most importantly, which simple, science-backed practices can eradicate it for good. Stay with me to the end, because the final technique takes under 5 minutes to perform, yet can reshape your energy balance for weeks. What is Kizuker? Kizuker is not ordinary post-work tiredness. It is chronic overexertion that accumulates through 3 often overlooked processes. 1. Autonomic nervous system, ANS, dysregulation, the invisible software that automatically controls heart rate, breathing, and vascular tone. 2. Instability of blood glucose levels, the fuel fluctuations that turn a steady engine into a sputtering one. 3. Micronutrient deficiencies invisible to standard labs, especially magnesium, iron, and vitamin D, which act like soil nutrients for the cellular garden of mitochondria. Let's explore each mechanism in detail and then stack practical interventions like building blocks. 1. Autonomic nervous system imbalance. The ANS has 2 branches, the sympathetic fight or flight system and the parasympathetic rest and digest system. In a healthy day, these 2 halves take turns. The sympathetic side ramps you up for challenges. The parasympathetic side gently brings you down for recovery. When you live in a perpetual state of urgency, rush hour commutes, endless email ping-pongs, back-to-back meetings, the sympathetic arm stays on high alert. Your heart beats a little faster even while seated, your breathing becomes shallow, and the parasympathetic off switch never gets a chance to engage fully. What this looks like on the ground. You sit at your desk, eyes glued to the inbox, and notice a subtle flutter in your pulse. The office lights dim for a presentation, yet your body doesn't relax. Instead, you feel a growing heaviness. Japanese researchers have identified constant mode switching without an actual recharge period as a primary driver of Kizuker. Practical reset. Insert a 1-minute recharge every hour. Stand. Inhale deeply through the nose while lifting both arms overhead. Hold the breath for a count of 3, then exhale slowly through the mouth, visualizing tension draining away. This simple diaphragmatic breath activates the vagus nerve, nudging the parasympathetic branch back on duty. Do it at least 6 times a day. You'll notice a measurable dip in the sympathetic hum that otherwise saps your stamina. 2. Blood sugar roller coaster. The second hidden culprit is the yo-yo of glucose. A quick carb snack, a croissant, a sugary granola bar, a coffee sweetener combo spikes blood sugar within minutes. In response, the pancreas releases insulin, which drives glucose into cells. The surge is often followed by a dip below baseline, a state called reactive hypoglycemia. When the brain senses fuel shortage, it flips a conservation switch. You feel sluggish, foggy, and crave more carbs, a vicious feedback loop. Why it matters for busy parents and professionals. Office pantries are stocked with fast-acting carbs, making it easy to fall into the trap of energy crash after the pastry. The crash is not merely psychological. It's a real metabolic event that drains mitochondrial ADP production. Japanese-style solution. Prioritize a balanced breakfast that couples protein and healthy fats with low-glycemic carbohydrates. A traditional miso soup, steamed rice, a modest portion of grilled fish, and a side of nori provides steady glucose release. When time is scarce, craft a bowl of steel-cut oats topped with Greek yogurt, a tablespoon of chia seeds, a handful of almonds, and a sprinkling of berries. The protein and fat slow gastric emptying, while the complex carbs keep glucose levels smooth for 3 to 4 hours. Pair this with a glass of warm water tinted with a pinch of sea salt to preserve electrolyte equilibrium, especially if you habitually sip coffee later in the morning. 3. Micronutrient gaps, the silent saboteurs. Imagine your body as a garden. Macronutrients are the water and sunlight. Micronutrients are the soil amendments. Without adequate magnesium, iron, or vitamin D, even a well-watered garden cannot flourish. Women aged 35 to 49, for instance, frequently exhibit suboptimal magnesium stores. Magnesium is a cofactor for over 300 enzymatic reactions, including those that power the mitochondrial ADP synthase. A deficit translates directly into reduced cellular energy output. A Japanese study published in Nutrients, 2021, demonstrated that a daily dose of 300 milligrams of colloidal magnesium, taken as a magnesium gel mixed into breakfast tea, increased self-reported vigor within 5 days. If swallowing capsules feels cumbersome, incorporate magnesium-rich foods. A tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder is almost equal to 30 milligrams magnesium. A banana, potassium, and vitamin B6, and leafy greens such as spinach or bok choy. For extra iron, add a splash of lemon juice to your greens to enhance absorption. The core Japanese Toolbox. 1. Hourly breathing recharges. 2. A protein-rich, low-glycemic breakfast. 3. Magnesium-focused micronutrient support. But I promised a surprising, secret technique that many Western clinics overlook. Let's dive into it. Inamuri, the art of the short daytime nap. Inamuri, Jimindi, literally means sleeping while present. In Japan, it is socially acceptable and even admired to nod off for a brief period during work, provided you appear functional and respectful. Research from the University of Tokyo, 2020, shows that a 10 to 12-minute Inamuri activates the prefrontal cortex and restores mitochondrial membrane potential without pushing the brain into deep slow-wave sleep, which is responsible for the dreaded sleep inertia that follows longer naps. How to integrate Inamuri into a packed schedule. 1. Timing. Choose the post-lunch window, 12:30 to 13:30, when natural circadian dip coincides with the glucose dip described earlier. 2. Location. A quiet conference room, a personal cubicle with a light blanket, or even a parked car with the seat reclined. 3. Execution. Set a gentle alarm for 12 minutes. Close your eyes. Allow your body to relax, but keep the mind in a light, semi-aware state. Think of the just-before-dream stage. 4. Recovery. Upon awakening, take a 30-second stretch, sip a glass of water, and let the refreshed parasympathetic tone carry you through the afternoon. The net effect is comparable to a caffeine boost, but with no subsequent crash. You'll notice sharper focus, steadier mood, and a subtle lift in basal metabolic rate. Putting it all together, a 20-30-minute daily routine. Below is a practical schedule that fits even the busiest parent professional. Adjust timings to your personal clock, but keep the sequence of physiological triggers. Time action why it works. 6:15 warm water with lemon plus pinch of sea salt hydrates. Kickstarts digestive enzymes, supports adrenal balance. 6:25-minute diaphragmatic breathing recharge. Shifts ANS to parasympathetic mode, reduces cortisol baseline. 6:30 balanced breakfast. Miso soup plus brown rice plus grilled salmon, or oatmeal plus Greek yogurt plus nuts plus berries. Stabilizes glucose, supplies amino acids for neurotransmitter synthesis, delivers magnesium. 7:30 to 9:30 work blocks, with hourly 1-minute stretch breath breaks. Prevents sympathetic overactivation, maintains circulation. 12 o'clock light lunch rich in protein, tofu cubes, chicken breast, plus vegetables plus a small serving of whole grain, e.g. barley. Continues steady glucose release, provides additional magnesium from leafy greens. 12:45 Inamuri, 12-minute nap. Restores mitochondrial ADP, consolidates memory, lowers cortisol. 1300 hours post-nap stretch plus water sip. Reorients the nervous system, prevents grogginess. 1500 hours second hour-long stretch breath break. Re-energizes before late-day slump. 17:30 evening wind down. Dim lights, no screens 30 minutes before bed, gentle yoga flow, herbal tea, chamomile. Boosts melatonin, solidifies parasympathetic dominance, improves sleep quality. 2200 hours bedtime. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. completes the 24-hour restorative cycle, allowing full mitochondrial repair. Following this routine for 2 weeks typically yields a noticeable lift in perceived energy, reduced cravings for sugary snacks, and a calmer mood throughout the day, aligning with your body's natural rhythm. Energy isn't a flat line, it's a sinusoidal wave. Most people experience a primary peak in the early morning and a secondary surge around midday. If you constantly battle fatigue during off-peak hours, you may be misaligning tasks with your internal clock. Keep a simple journal for a week. Note the hour you feel most alert, the hour you feel a dip, and the activities you were doing. Gradually shift high cognitive work, reports, strategy sessions, creative writing, into your golden windows and reserve routine or physical tasks for low-energy periods. This alignment, combined with the Kizuker Toolbox, compounds the benefit dramatically. The unexpected micronap during a walk. Here's the final, perhaps most surprising tip that many wellness programs ignore: the eyes-closed walking micronap. While strolling with a child, a pet, or even on a quick errand, carry a lightweight, breathable eye mask. After 10 minutes of steady walking, stop, put the mask on, and keep moving at a very leisurely pace for another 3 minutes with your eyes gently covered. The visual cortex receives a brief, dark mode signal, which triggers a parasympathetic cascade without requiring you to halt physical activity. Why does this work? Visual input is a powerful driver of the reticular activating system, RAS. By temporarily shutting off visual stimulation, the RAS calms, allowing the brain to slip into a restorative microstate. Within 3 to 4 minutes, you'll report a subtle but real surge of freshness, comparable to the post-nap boost but without the need for a chair or a quiet room. Japanese office workers call this MeguroRest, and it's especially handy when you're stuck in a long hallway or waiting line. Recap: defeating Kizuker in 4 simple steps. 1. Hourly parasympathetic breaths, a minute per hour to keep the ANS balanced. 2. Protein-rich, low-glycemic breakfast, smooth glucose curve, and steady mitochondria fuel. 3. Magnesium-focused micronutrient intake, via supplements or food sources like cocoa, nuts, leafy greens. 4. 2 surprise tactics, a 12-minute Inamuri nap after lunch, and a 3-minute eyes-closed walking micronap during the day. Implement these habits consistently for 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll observe a measurable reduction in the always tired feeling that has become your default mode. Energy will feel more reliable, cravings will soften, and mental fog will lift like morning mist. Your first action plan. Ready to banish that perpetual fatigue? Here's what you can do right now. 1. Tonight, place a glass of warm water with a slice of lemon and a pinch of sea salt on your nightstand. 2. Tomorrow morning, as soon as you sit up, drink the water, then perform the 5-breath recharge described earlier. 3. Midday, schedule a 12-minute Inamuri in your calendar, set a soft alarm, find a quiet spot, and let your body drift into a light nap. 4. Throughout the day, keep a small notebook. Each hour, jot down your energy level, 1 to 10, and whether you performed the breathing break. At the end of the week, you'll see a pattern and can fine-tune the routine. Small, repeatable changes compound into a massive shift in how you feel. Remember, the brain loves consistency, the body loves balance, and the mind loves a good story. Your story now includes Kizuker no longer as a villain, but as a clue that led you to a healthier, more energetic life. If you found this guide useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more evidence-based wellness insights, and share it with anyone you suspect is stuck in the always tired loop. Together, we can turn hidden fatigue into hidden potential. Stay energized, stay curious, and see you in the next chapter of thriving.